Good turnaround Tuesday, everybody. How's everyone doing? Day before Fed. Probably a lot of book squaring going on the next 24 hours. GM Mike, how are you? Steve, Ingmar, AJ, hi Blake, hi Bran, Azaz Khan, Ayaz. How are you, Ayaz? Welcome to F.A.C.E, Hugo, Ryan's around, Tim, James, AJ. Okay. So let's take a look around. Right. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Morning, Dale. I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay. So, yen has cut through some overhead stuff here.
Yep.
Does it look like it could make a run at the highs here before the BOJ?
Yeah, you might get your 158s, mate.
Yeah. Okay. So, does that color anything with, like, say, euro still stuck in a range, cable still stuck in a range? I don't know. Is this a flag? What kind of reaction are you expecting for the dollar after the Fed? A lot of people agree with Blake about a hawkish cut. You're dovish. Should we get another push up to 117, or are we looking at this being a top in euro? It's kind of a coin flip to me.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't see any which way that we get any huge moves around this. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going
Okay.
to cut. They're going to
Yeah.
cut. That's a given. So that's the bulk of the trade. Whether it's a hawkish cut, an unhawkish cut, an undovish cut, I think that is only just a bit of piecemeal. But we get the forecast, so that's where I think that decision will be made if there's any meaningful change to the forecast for next year
Okay.
moving
Dot
forward.
plots. So
The dot plots, yeah,
everything's about the dots.
yeah. What they're going to do next year? We know what they're doing this year. We know what they've done this year.
Yeah.
What they're going to do next year?
Yeah. Tough to trade around people moving dots around.
Yeah,
You know what I
isn't
mean?
it? Exactly. That's what we have to deal with at the moment. So
yeah.
And again, if people are looking for a hawkish cut, whatever
They
you
might
want
be
to call it,
disappointed. Yeah.
if they get what happens if you're disappointed,
Yeah.
and the Fed isn't as undovish as the market expects, well, you're going to see the dollar getting a bit of a bashing again.
How about a half a point cut? Actually, some talk around that could happen.
That would spook the market, and there's no need for the Fed to go there. The data isn't indicating anything that needs anything more than a 25 pip cut, if it needs a 25 pip cut at all. If you compare jobs and inflation. So yeah, I still stick with my line. It's going to be a middle of the road FOMC. They're not going to shut the door on cuts. They're not going to say this is the end of it. Get on with it. Because the jobs market is still soft, but inflation's still sticky. So they're going to walk. Powell's going to walk that fine line again, and maybe even there might be some noise around the balance sheet management. Buying back bonds and all that sort of thing. And if he comments on that, and whether the market starts doing its usual stupid thing and saying it's QE when it's not.
Silver threatening new highs here. Gold silver ratio, new lows, but pay attention. We do have a divergence here. I thought we would make new lows here, so just be careful. Just being, looking for $100 silver after the Fed the day after, because if this turns, it's going to be difficult for that to happen. And silver almost pushing the highs, and gold's off the recent highs. It's $50 off the high, the move. It's a couple hundred, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of sideways going on. That silver's looking interesting. There's really three levels you can trade at the moment. That's right here at this, this 58, 85, 90.
Yeah,
You've got a bit in the middle, 57.85, I think it is, and then
yeah,
against all those, that break up candle and then the candle lows underneath it. So it's pretty clear, this one, which the
yeah.
levels at least that you can trade.
And I think this is the first daily reading where it's not that much above 70. See, you had all these back here that portended this
Yeah,
rally, but this time, not as strong. And I think in the 4 hour, yeah, the 4 hour at new highs, this will be the first time since that here we diverged, and
yeah.
we might do it again. All
So
right,
you got
well,
that pivot 57, 85, 58.
yeah,
While you're staying above it, then you got a chance at the highs. But if you can't get
right.
through this high here, then the only other way it can go is down. But if it can't get through 57, 56 and a half, then it stays bullish.
I don't like the RSI picture on this MEX, but we had the throw under or throw over and pretty good action the last couple days.
Yeah,
Or
it's built itself back in to the
yeah,
into above that prior low that we got way back in September.
yeah,
There was a risk that we got a flush out. That hasn't happened. It's gone back in the box. The bounce isn't overly strong. I was buying this down to 18.20, and I halved the trade when it got back to 26, 27,
okay,
just to reduce the risk because it still looks a bit weak. But
yeah.
as I said,
This is a pretty weak rating at the lows,
yeah,
21.
we
So
saw exactly the same happening above 1850. It would break out, it couldn't hold it, couldn't last long, and then it would go back inside again.
yeah,
So this is at risk of doing that again. So we're yet to see a proper resolution of this 1850 range.
maybe this was a Miss Universe pop because I think that she is from Mexico, and I think she was in the country with their president last week for the FIFA drawings, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I know you're excited for what's coming this summer, right?
Yeah, I've checked the some of the kickoff times, and they're all going to be early evening, so I won't be able to sit up at stupid o'clock
And,
to watch our games.
and FIFA is what, every 4 or 6 years?
4 years, yeah,
4 years, okay, like the Olympics.
yeah,
All right, okay. So you guys who call this football, you're going to have football going this summer too.
yeah.
Okay. You doing anything with Aussie Kiwi?
No, but I'm a bit surprised by a lot of the Aussie pairs because we obviously got a really hawkish RBA, and none of them could go on and make new highs for the week for last week.
Yeah.
Take out the highs. If you look at Aussie dollar, it tapped the highs and dipped back. So I'm a bit surprised, given that meeting last night, that Aussie wasn't doing better.
Copper under some pressure, which is really, it's been acting okay. But, when you look at the daily, I don't know, are we going to blow through this new high? And S&Ps, a little, had a little sell off, came back pretty good. Um, I think Rega allowed for a pullback to about 6,800 before new highs. So maybe that's in the cards. Any vibe on this? I mean, is it just waiting to make new all-time highs? It's only 70 handles away. Could do that in a day if it likes the
Yeah.
Fed,
Well,
right?
you brought this up the other week. Look at how small these candles are becoming.
Yeah,
That tells you, we're waiting for what the Fed's going to deliver. And if it's a hawkish cut, then you probably get your 6,800. If it's not, then we go and take out the highs. So this could be just one of those moments where the market's just waiting to get over the hump. If there's no shocks, then off it goes.
okay. And yeah, I've really had to be patient with this WTI. I have partials, but I thought we were on the verge of breaking out. and that didn't happen. So I don't know what to do with energy. The widower maker finally gave it up on some warmer weather on the East Coast. You guys in Europe have any issues with gas this winter for
Um,
heating?
Only the personal kind, but no, it's we were all stocked up. I hope. I
Okay.
think.
All right. All right, here's Stelios's platinum and the bonds, they're popping a little bit, but I if they rally the bonds back, I would fade a bond rally on the Fed tomorrow, the long end anyway. Uh,
Yeah, yesterday's looking like a bit of an adjustment day more than something more because we had all those yields rallying yesterday and they've sort of run out of puff today. They're not pulling back too far,
yeah,
but they're certainly not. We haven't seen a second day of yields motoring on. So again, that
yeah.
could just be position adjustment ahead of the Fed and whatnot.
Well, yeah. If this level, supported bounces for, I don't know, months, I would think that it would also offer resistance now
Yeah,
on any rally to it. So,
it already has. Look at those two candles after the break. The first one underneath it, and
yeah,
the second one, we had a little nibble above, but it held below it. So yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's you've shown this line so many times, and it's such a perfect trading line. You can ask for more.
yeah. All right. Yeah. So pay attention to 88 and a half and TLT. They do have options on TLT. I would try some puts if we had a rally up there. And I just don't know what to do with the dollar here. I thought you know, that we had more towards 98 was coming. Um, but it's trying to turn up here. So we'll see. Everything's going to be dependent upon dot plots.
Yeah.
So
I know
you know,
we do a show every day, and we got to talk about markets, but sometimes this is what the market does. It just sits on its hands and says, right, well, let's see what's coming, and
yeah,
then we'll make a move.
I think I'm going to be pretty flat going into the Fed, and I'd rather react to the reaction than
Exactly.
just be positioned and try and guess how the market's going to respond. So
Yeah.
you guys may want to consider that. And if you have big leads, you have stops in there. But if you have big leads, you should be taking at least something off the table in front of it. So
Yeah,
bring
exactly that. I
Blake.
mean, I closed up the rest of my dollar CADs yesterday because just it's not looking too good. I was long just below 38, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to fold it up, take it off the
Yeah,
table,
yeah,
and I might still have some dollar yen on if I'm not stopped out on my trailer before the Fed. Um,
So,
well,
so Ryan, are you playing the yen short, meaning long dollar yen?
no, I'm short dollar yen.
Okay,
Um,
I was gonna talk a little bit about these yen pairs just because they're all just breaking out. I mean, whether you're talking
yeah,
about the euro yen, the pound yen, I bought some Canadian yen yesterday. I mean, they're just screaming higher. Like, and in the face of the Fed tomorrow, but B, with the BOJ and some of the comments that Ueda had overnight, and it seems like that everybody's anticipating the BOJ to hike. But if you look at interest rates, I think it's going to be the highest level the BOJ's been at since like 90 something. If I had to go back, I'll pull up the chart here. And I think, I mean, everybody expects like this is a new higher level for rates from the BOJ, but the market doesn't seem to care about it.
yeah. Just one caveat to that. This looks like a wave four triangle right here. And if that's the case, this move is a five, usually a terminal thrust. So watch for reversals too if you're long, because, we are diverging on the daily time frame. And, I've seen these fours quite a bit near the end of the move with one more, let's just ream every short one more time before it turns.
But
So,
there's some big tech upcoming on this one as well. There's a huge fib going back to the 1980s or whatever, on euro yen, which is going to be really, that's 187.88, which was also a prior high back in 99. There's a big trend line as well coming from around 99 through at 183. So this euro yen, but I'm getting a bit twitchy again about intervention, because we haven't seen the yen strengthen massively since that CADJPY high in dollar yen 158, and I think we could be getting close to intervention around the Bank of Japan meeting, because if they hike rates and
it
the market
doesn't
goes,
work.
thank you very much,
Yeah.
buy rumor, sell fact, this screams higher. And if they happen to go on hold because they're not ready yet, it screams higher. And the yen index is still very, very low. So I think that Bank of Japan meeting is going to be hugely important for whether we
Yeah.
get intervention or not.
I think all the global markets tilt on the action from that day within 48 hours. So
Yeah.
yeah. Also it's a solstice. So I know, a lot of people don't think about change of seasons as being meaningful in markets, but WD Gann did. So, sometimes what you have is at the end of the season, whichever direction the market's moving in general, can shift with the change of seasons. So that's, the BOJ's, I think, the day before. I think solstice is the 20th.
Yeah,
So
19th, I
is
believe.
it? Okay, so it's on the
Yeah.
BOJ day. How appropriate. All right. So Blake, and you like the euro yen above all the crosses, Aussie yen.
I,
Uh,
I wouldn't say above all the crosses. It's not the one I'm long right now, but just I was just pointing out that the yen pairs. I mean, there's the dollar yen just kind of inching its way higher, but you look at the euro yen. I mean it's trying to punch higher into resistance. You got Canadian yen, which I am long. It is breaking into new highs. And by the way, if you guys haven't seen this, I'll just show this to you. This is that's a long-term 618 retracement that we're above, and we're settling above it. Also, channel resistance as well. So, these yen pairs just, they look strong. And like I said, in the face of the BOJ, and this is what I wanted to point out. If you look at yields, and sorry guys, everybody was saying that my mic is kind of quiet. Do I still sound a little quiet right now?
to me,
No,
it sounds fine.
you're a bit better. You're a bit better than you were at the start.
Okay. So if you look back here from the 90s, right? This is the same, level that we've been in interest rates for the BOJ at 0.5%. Everybody's expecting for the BOJ to move up in rates, right? But the question is, how far are they going to move, and how quickly are they going to move? I had this conversation yesterday with the Forex Analytix subscribers. Everybody on the daily roundup. We had like a good 20-minute conversation about the yen and rates and the BOJ. And let's not forget that Japan was beat into submission for 30 years of deflation, right? They are a very conservative and very hesitant central bank. And the last thing that they want to do is let rates, go higher and beat their economy back into, this deflationary environment. So, I wonder if it's just the market getting ahead of that. What do you think, Ryan?
What do you mean getting ahead of that?
I mean,
Guessing
getting
that,
ahead, like making sure that the market doesn't think that this is, oh, our rates are going to 0.75%, and before you know it, we're going to be at 1.5%. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I shouldn't think anyone's thinking like that. We know, like you say, how the BOJ moves. And that's something that Ueda mentioned a couple of weeks ago. It's how he's going to communicate the path of hikes. So it's not necessarily that they're going to go 25. We know that's pretty much done and dusted. It's how he communicates. He still sees a hike to 0.75 as they're still accommodative. Okay, so they're not tightening yet.
Right.
So it's gonna they're never taking rates to 1.5% in 3 meetings or anything like that, unless something stupid happens in the data. So it is going to be slow and steady. It's baked in now. I don't know why the yen has kicked on today, specifically today, but then we didn't know why yields were running up yesterday. So that when you get these one-off incidents, then you tend to think, well, is it maybe just the time of year? Is it just readjustment ahead of these meetings, or is it something more? So I think we got to watch it. But as I say, I think that pushes us right back into intervention territory.
Right. And that's, I think that's a great point, Ryan. We're probably at end of year flow type of trades too, where you have to be really careful fading some of these moves, because if they go, they can just keep going. And
I hate this time of year because you see these moves and you can read too much into it.
Yeah.
The yen's weakening. It's dollar yen's going to 170, and everyone gets excited and whatever, and then it peters out or something changes and it only lasts a day, and you get a lot of that this time of year, and it's very, very difficult sometimes to get a handle on.
I think
what
there's
we're
a
doing.
shot that the Treasury, um, if there is intervention, cooperates with Japan on that. And it would be more effective if they did so. And we know Bessent is not happy about currencies devaluing against the dollar for trade. So, I mean, if they were ever going to do something, be cooperative, now's a pretty good moment. They
yeah.
have before had major turning points, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking, I just closed up my Canadian yen long, so that's just part of.
Nice trade.
Thanks. It's just part of just
Just running
squaring
your
up ahead of
store.
tomorrow. I'm with you, Dale. I think we need to square up positions and kind of react to what's going to happen tomorrow versus trying to be positioned for the market, if you will, because it's going to be a tricky. I mean, it's going to be a tricky market.
Yeah.
It is. Let's talk about the FOMC tomorrow a little bit, and Ryan, I want to just kind of have this discussion. The whole market is expecting a cut, but a hawkish cut. And I know you don't like the term hawkish cut, but when you
He
read,
hates it.
I know when you read like 8 other banks and their conversations saying hawkish cut, don't you think you might actually be the person in the wrong here, Ryan? I'm just asking for a friend. Anyway,
Listen, the
Who
RBA,
is who is that friend you're always asking for?
right?
just,
Yeah, just asking
Who
for
is
a
that
friend, buddy.
they just
guy?
clickbait. I hate it because if it's not dovish, it's hawkish. If it's not hawkish, it's dovish. What happened to the middle ground?
Okay, all right. So
Anyway,
let's just scrap that. But let's talk about like the Fed's going to cut rates. A lot of people believe that as they cut rates, this is going to be it until Powell leaves, or maybe till April. The market is starting to price in, 50 basis points of cuts for 2026. And that's basically it, and tomorrow could really have the scope of opening that up a little bit, and Powell's pretty good at not disrupting and not rocking the boat. So what do you think is going to happen tomorrow as far as what the Fed chair is going to do? He's got to leave the door open for a January cut if the data is horrible, right?
yeah, but he doesn't need to be specific about January. He just leaves the door open for cuts, which is the same position he's been in for the last 6 months. You know, even when they weren't cutting, the door was open for cuts. How the market interprets it is another question. If the market says, "Oh, Powell not explicitly saying they're going to cut in January means we need to, take bond yields higher and take the dollar higher," well, that's what the market will do. But as I said yesterday, he's going to walk that fine line. It's all on the table. Every meeting's live. If they feel we need to cut in January, they'll cut in January. If they don't feel the need to, they may not cut in January. So yeah, it's if the market thinks it's getting we're cutting today and that's the end of it, then the market's going to be disappointed.
Well, if the market's going to be disappointed, that means stocks are going to actually like that, and that's the thing. If the market is expecting that, and they get let's say it's a cut, and the Fed leaves the door open for further cuts if needed, that should be enough, in my opinion, to put the S&P, and we can go look at the S&P. Which, by the way, Dale, I agree with your analysis here. Or what you guys were talking about a little bit earlier. This is just the market preparing for the end of year and to get past tomorrow's hump. I mean, if the Fed is open to cuts in January and the market feels that way, and they look at the plots and say, there wasn't enough hawkish movement in the dot plots, then the S&P should be trading at all-time highs after tomorrow.
Yeah, but we're also forgetting the dissenters and the votes tomorrow, which is going to be equally important because, for the latter part of November, we were having Fed heads coming out saying, no, they're not going to look for a cut in December. They don't think we should cut in December. And that sort of switched around because we had some of the big wigs coming out, like the Williamses and whatnot, coming out and saying that a cut is still appropriate by year end. So the votes is going to be very important. If there's a fine line between those voting for cuts and those voting to stay on hold, that again is going to be undovish, and the market's going to react to that.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're seeing look at the dollar yen. The dollar yen is just continuing to press higher. I mean, we mentioned this yesterday. If you were looking at Forex Analytix analysis yesterday morning, which had been about 24 hours from now, the analysis was, that we're breaking above this channel resistance, and it should accelerate, gains through 155.70. And, here we are, 70 pips higher, just kind of trucking higher. Dollar's making some headway. You got the euro, in this channel, I call it. We're just kind of messing around in here. Sterling's pulling back. We had I thought was a pennant, which actually is probably more just like a flag, but I don't even know if I'd give it too much of that at this point in time. And the Aussie's failing to really capitalize on that hawkish the hawkish hold, if you will. We are going into a different regime. We are moving into central banks becoming more hawkish. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, you got the RBNZ from last week. You got the RBA. People are now looking at Canada as the Bank of Canada is going to be turning more hawkish here, and then. I mean, and here comes the Fed. But how about if the Fed is really the only central bank that still is leaning kind of dovishly? Where does that put the dollar then, Ryan?
Well, I think the market, any market that is pricing any of these central banks to be hawkish outside of the RBA, is going a bit too far. I mean, at the Bank of Canada, we were pricing, pretty much nearly a 20 basis points of hikes next year. I think that's bonkers. And particularly, we haven't got, some of the central banks haven't finished their cut cycles yet. The Bank of England, they could still be cutting, 2, 3, 4 times next year. As you say, with the Fed, they could be cutting. So it's going to be more pain for the dollar if they're going to continue cutting and something like the ECB stays on hold. You're probably talking euro dollar up at 120 or something.
Actually, there's people talking about ECB hikes in 2026. I know that sounds crazy.
Well, we had Schnabel saying it. That market bets on the next move being a hike is not out the woods. That's a German central banker. They're always going to be more hawkish.
Right. Even as the country's going to hell in a handbasket right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard a guy, Brent Donnelly, talking about that. The G7 nations, the developed ones, at times these commodity currencies lead the interest rate cycle. So that's why people are talking about hikes because, well, RBNZ started it, right?
Yeah, but it's because those types of economies are more susceptible to when you get things happening in things like trade, because they're
Yeah.
so commodity orientated.
Yeah.
It happens to all of them. The Bank of Canada is
Yeah.
I don't know if it was either the RBNZ or Bank of Canada that led the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a lot of these commodity currencies or commodity countries. And again, because they are slightly smaller, they do get hit pretty harder. I mean, if you look at those, you need to look at some of the smaller Asia central banks who probably lead all of them by a country mile.
It's an endorsement of continuing to play alongside of the commodity theme next year.
Yeah.
I
Don't you
mean,
think?
I don't
That's what
disagree with
Bookfart
that.
said yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that statement at all. But hey, Dale, I did realize that we're you have an interview
Yeah.
and you have
Patrick's
Patrick
here.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna let you guys take over, or I'll let you take over. But I just want to say, hey guys, make sure you take advantage of Forex Analytics. This is a great day to do it because it's $1 for 10 days. You can be in the chat rooms with us, see how we're positioned. You can have conversations with with all of us in there talking about what's moving what, and having just, especially around the FOMC tomorrow, because it's going to be hopping in our community. That's where it always is. So make sure you take a trial, $1 for 10 days. Try it out. Come inside of our community and see what it's like, and take advantage of the Forex Analytics tool and having the live squawk feed and all the analysis for 30 different instruments. Remember, it's not just currencies. We have the DAX, we have the 10-year, we have boons, we have, yes, the dollar index, silver, gold, crypto. So take advantage of it. And with that being said, Dale, pass it over to you. Ryan, hope your leg's feeling better, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Blake.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Coach.
Dale.
Thank you, team. And welcome, Patrick. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Dale. I
I
almost
know.
didn't made it there. I was looking for the link there to the webinar, and of course I had it somewhere there, so all good.
Yeah.
All good.
All right. Well, I'm glad you figured, I wouldn't have made it because I don't know how to find a link. I'm sure I thought you would know how to, but a dinosaur like me. Link, what's that? The missing link? Right. So, you know what, Patrick, you and Kevin were way ahead of the curve for this bull market in precious metals, and you know we've we've had little minor pullbacks, and I'm curious to see what you're thinking there. And also, I'd like you to cover Bitcoin for us too, if you don't mind
Ooh,
today.
sure. All right. Well, you want to start let's start with Bitcoin there. Could we start in reverse?
Sure, yeah.
Because I put this chart out, guys. This is a very short-term chart there. So it's 8-hour candles, very fast. And after Bitcoin lost, the 106 level about there, then it did a retest, and then it's just been in a downtrend on a very short-term time frame. But even I'll show you the monthly chart, because even on the monthly chart, there's some pretty important stuff that's happening to Bitcoin. And right now, that's where we are today there. I don't know, we're at the apex of this thing. There's a descending trend line right there. We're almost out of the cloud. And now
Yeah.
it's hitting support, support, support. It's super coiled. So my goodness, I don't know if there's some type of economic news event today or not, but there's not many rooms there to squeeze in more 8-hour candles in there before we get some type of
Probably, maybe it's a Fed tomorrow, Patrick.
there you
And
go. So maybe it's going to be able to stall a little bit there, and
yeah,
then maybe meander in here, and then after that we'll get something. But so on the shorter time frames, here you had the volume, important volume here on the bottom, then the bounce, but there's nothing much here to play right from a chart trading way. If I was looking at this in a vacuum and not looking at the hard time frames, if ever I would get a breakout above 93,000 here, if I get above here 93,000, a nice candle here above here, then I would play a move all the way up to 102,000, 106,000, and that
okay.
would move pretty fast up there. I think if ever we get a close back above that 93 level, but yeah, until then,
I'm
this is
sensing your long-term view. So we had that bottom, capitulation bottom, but I sense that you don't think the low is in yet. Am I
well,
right? Or you think the low is in?
no, well, this is the issue with Bitcoin there. So this is the monthly chart for Bitcoin, and I could even do Bitcoin price and gold right after. So
Okay.
we lost this rising support line here. Let me zoom
Okay.
in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Okay, so you're not this is an uptrend. You're not
Right.
bearish because you lose a rising support line, but you become much less bullish and you can become agnostic. That means it's stage two uptrend, stage three top, or stage four, stage three top, or
Yeah.
we don't know what's happening here. This correction could just keep going. If that shorter term time frame doesn't resolve properly, we could just have some type of expanding wedge right here, and you get much lower targets. But this is the issue I have here with Bitcoin: is look at the momentum. So momentum, we define it as the distance of the price
Yeah.
between its 36 period moving average. So in this case, 36-month moving average. I'm going to remove the cloud, remove the volume, and the price. So this is Bitcoin there over all this period. Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Essentially, that's like any penny stock that goes up crazy in price logarithmically. Even if you're doing new highs, you're not doing them as fast as crazy as you did before. And that's like, I think it's just a maturing process. That's kind of natural. But
Okay.
here is where I'm getting a little antsy about. I lost this rising support line on the momentum. There's even a whole bunch of them. One, two, three. Here you lost it. As soon as you lose a rising support line on a distance from moving average indicator, you're entering what I call a low rot zone. So here, a high rot zone is when you're exploding above, away from a moving average, and rot is just the initials for returns over time. So the best returns over time for Bitcoin. So let's say here all the way up to here. So you did 248% in the 22 months. Here where exploded, maybe I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
here all the way until you lost it.
Yeah.
I'll show you how I do this here
Huge
for the
movement.
previous cycle. You lost it here, and then after that, you lost a more slanted one, or this is even more violent here. So as soon
Yeah.
as you lose that, let me click and drag that.
Where's your red moving average come in? I keep staring at that.
The red moving average,
Yeah. Where's it
that's
coming in now? Price wise. Yeah.
yeah, it's right here, the red moving average.
I can't read the price. What
Sorry
price
about
did?
that. It's 65,000,
Okay.
67,000.
Thank you.
But the idea is once you lose that momentum, you're not able to distance the moving average as fast as you can. It means you're vulnerable. It means there's not as much money coming in the sector, or not enough to override the sellers, the profit takers, the people who bought here at the bottom. They're in the profit taking zones. And you see, as soon as I lost that here, either that one here or that one here, the price, while it went sideways, sometimes it could go up sideways, but you're in low rod zone. You're not producing as much gains in that amount of time. And this is where we are now. There's no until Bitcoin's able to. This is what it has to do there to really. Let me put a little roadmap here for you guys.
It's got to reclaim that.
Yes, it
Yeah.
has to reset. And
Mm.
that look, uh, every time I
Yeah.
let go of that indicator, that arrow. So until until it's able to do, look, all the greatest gains for Bitcoin, look how the distance from moving average was. Coiled and tight, moving up. Coiled and tight, moving up. Until you get these situations, coiled and tight, moving up.
Yeah,
Now it's stretch, and now it's starting to coil, but you need to at least
time.
break above somewhere here. So you can't even touch this. So even if the price does go up and go sideways, and even the price could go up all the way to 140,000, me as a trader, I want to be in the fastest horse when it just starts running, right? And that is not now. That is 100% not now. It could be many, many months before I get interested in Bitcoin. It's
Yeah.
lost rising momentum. For me, the horse is dead. And there's even a more dire chart for Bitcoin. It's this one, Dale. This is really, and this where it's long-term stuff there. It's Bitcoin priced in gold there. That thing is
Oh,
is just terrible.
yeah.
If you can make it, let me put it on the line chart. Did it lose?
Yeah, I have it priced the other way. Someone in an interview asked me to look at it. It hasn't turned yet, that's for sure.
No, yeah, it hasn't turned. The rewarding sides, it hasn't broken out here. There's a whole bunch of I don't even this one here there. Like it's on the wrong side of that of those lines. It's just on the wrong side right now. It's
Yeah,
gold Bitcoin has its greatest runs when it's also able to not just go in and fiat, go up against gold, and it's doing the opposite now. So
right.
even priced in fiat, if it goes up a little bit there and it goes up, whatever, 110,000. But if it can't break out versus gold, what's the use? Because if it's not outperforming gold, the greatest runs for Bitcoin happen when it's able to outperform gold. And it's not anywhere close to doing that. The momentum is totally, even here, the distance from moving average versus gold is totally falling apart. It's like,
So that's an
there's no,
important thing for crypto people to follow, that chart, because the turn, even if you don't catch the bottom of the market, you wait for that turn. That's one of your themes
yeah,
for what's happened in the market is the money flow, right? So you're fighting the money flow when it's doing this if you own Bitcoin and you're shorting gold against it. So that's a double whammy for you. So, okay. So
lose.
sanguine,
Yeah.
I would describe your view as um, really not interested in Bitcoin at the moment. Ethereum seems to have a little stronger case. Are there any other cryptos that you follow that are fighting the Bitcoin trend and acting resilient, or are they all pretty much in the same boat, like
Yeah.
XRP and yeah,
Yeah. Going sideways, no breakout in momentum.
right. It's the
It's
same, but relative strength
yeah,
is a little better.
yes.
Um, okay.
XRP still needs a full reset here before it's resetting. You know, you want this to fully reset. If it gets here there and it starts breaking out above that, and the price chart's looking pretty good, and price in gold it's doing fine, then okay, you got to give it a runner's chance. But all the rest there is just terrible. Like ADA in the down in the basement, XLM. Unwinding. So you gotta this needs a lot of time there to reset. It's
Okay.
had its move here. It trapped everybody. Here was to the moon. Here was the Trumps buying Bitcoin. Here it was all the narratives. My goodness, like you name it. There, they're going to use Solana. Remember that there was this thing
Yeah,
there. They were going to use Solana as an official something there. Wasn't the government doing something with Solana there or Cardano? I can't remember what it was,
yeah,
but
I don't know.
it doesn't
I
matter
barely.
anyways. All that stuff, guys. It's all
That was the
clickbait.
top. That was the top.
Yeah, yeah. It's like all these cryptos have topped there a while back, especially in real terms. They've all topped versus gold. So there's no ETH. So there's no all that stuff there has topped. There's no value here other than promises by gurus that this thing's gonna go make you a billionaire, right? But the charts are showing you that
Yeah,
it's not there yet. There, it's not.
yeah,
It's not. Look
yeah,
at that. That's ETH. Look at the beautiful price. That's a beautiful breakout line for ETH price and gold.
right.
These are my lines in the sand. You know what? You do that in TradingView, right click, add alert on trend line, and that's it. I go home, I go have fun with my kids, whatever. And there's no need to even worry about ETH until it closes above that line. If it does close above that line, then we got something to do,
Yeah,
to
you
do
have a
there.
reason. You have a signal.
Yeah, yeah, signal. Of course, like our whole life is based on signals. Like if you
Yeah,
want to get timing right, I think it's critical because if you just jump in because you have a
yeah,
fundamental thesis, but then you
yeah,
could be a bag holder for years and years, and other assets are breaking out, and you're there, and your friends are making money, and you're stuck there. Like, do you want to be right about your thesis, or you want to be right about your net asset value increasing? You got to choose. I don't care
yeah.
being wrong about a thesis. If the price goes up and it doesn't make sense to me, how come I don't believe in crypto? How come the price is going up? I'd be kind of an idiot to not play the uptrend in crypto because I don't believe in the thesis. If the price is going up, that's all I need to know there.
Yeah, we go into battle with our armor and we use the shield for defense, which is risk management, and the sword for attacking the market at the right time. So you
That's
need
right.
both your shield and sword. Don't go into battle without it. That's what Patrick's saying here
That's right.
in my poetic terms. So all right, let's get to PMs now, bro. A lot of people looking for new highs in gold into year end. I mean, it's only 2, 3 weeks away. Or do you see this consolidation period from the highs that we had a month or so ago, even though silver's making new highs and the gold silver ratio recently made a new low, actually crashed. What's your take going into 26
Yeah.
on both of them?
Well, I want to show you guys these analogs. I know you can't trade on analogs, but this I did a copy of this is the current gold move for so let's say from 2018 consolidation all the way to
Yeah,
today. And
yeah,
I just had fun there superposing it. Here's in the 70s, and that's why people say, oh, charts, it's reading tea leaves. Guys, these fractals pull, flag, pull, they repeat all the time. It's just basic human emotions, right? You
yeah,
exaggerate in one direction, then whoever bought at the bottom takes profits, and after that, there's people that who want to run the next leg up or try to anticipate it's going to go up, and then they're buying as people are selling. So you get the flag correction. So these things repeat over and over, and that gives you an edge. When you see the same pattern, fractals happening over and over again, it gives you an edge. So here's the one from the 1960s. So let's say we did move up here, and we did this type of move up. If we have a repeat of 1974 to 1975, there's still some room in the tank for gold compared to the move it's done here. Here
okay,
in the later 70s, let's say this is my fractal consolidation explosion. There's still some room here for gold to go up. Here is in the 2000s. If I put that fractal here, up, 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 where targets reached and we're at a GFC type of event. So a correction started happening here.
yeah,
And if I don't know where I want to put this one, where it starts, whether here, up consolidation, and we're above that run here. We're above the 2011 top. So from a classical TA way perspective, we've reached targets here. We've surpassed targets. Even if I take the measured move from the base of that, add it to the pull, to the breakout. Let me put a horizontal line. Gold by classical TA measured moves has reached its immediate target, and you'd expect some type of correction here. It just and you want that. Anybody on the sidelines, there's no
yeah,
way you could enter this. There's no
right,
way an objective chart trader could look at this and say, "Oh yeah, yeah, go jump on gold there. It's fine there. It's in an uptrend." No, you're in an uptrend, but you used a lot of fuel from that uptrend, right? It's like
yeah,
the run started back here, guys, or the
right,
run started back here in 2019, June 2019, December 2023, and the
right,
more you're advanced, the closer you are to the end. It's just the nature of any ride, right? You go on the highway, you go to a destination. If the more kilometers you do or miles you do, then you're just closer to your destination there. So eventually, this will 100% do a correction, 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, but it's going to happen. And there's even, look at this there, even distance from moving average, guys. Look, we're in outlier territory, outlier. Even the previously, I probably said the previous times we talked, we were an outlier. And it could keep staying an outlier, and that's fine. My line that's in the sand is this rising support line. As long as that line, and I'm pretty sure if people go revisit the video there we did together, the webinar, I had this line drawn out, 1, 2, 3. Now it's 4 touches. My goodness, that one's going to be important.
Yeah. It's a
The
lot
gold,
of
the gold,
touches.
gold's fine. The trend is up for the people who are already in and they don't want to exit into strength, like because when you exit with classical TA measured moves, you're always exiting into strength. It's a measured move target,
Right.
and you cannot reach a target into weakness, right? You have to reach and get it, right? So
Yeah.
anybody who does not has a hard time selling to strength because they're afraid to leave stuff on the table, then that means you're guaranteed to sell into some weakness. And the weakness will come when the price slows down and the moving average catches up and we close below this rising support line here. And that's probably when you're going to say, okay, that's when the start of the correction is likely to start, is below that line. So trend riders, you're good. People on the sidelines, you're out of luck. Classical TA guys, you're 100%. You've been in the profit taking zone for a while, even though the price goes up. So depending on your time frame, your technique you want to use to trade, then you have these different answers I'm giving you there. But
How much fuel left in the tank for silver, Patrick?
for silver, yes, let's get silver. My goodness, that thing just rocketed crazy.
Yeah.
So it's so aggressive there. Look at that there. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Look at that. Oh man, where's my here? Here, okay, here. Look how high we are. This is I'm on the monthly silver distance from that moving average. Let me put here like this. It's my line disappeared. Look how stretched we are. My goodness, it's like
Yeah.
we're 2011 top, 2006 right before the run up before the GFC, 1974 outlier territory, 1979 outlier territory.
Yeah.
All the classical TA measured moves have been reached there. So even let's say I'm super greedy and I take pull, flag, pull, look at that, exceeded. It's done there. It's done. We're stretched. And here I'm gonna put an aggressive line. As long as it stays above here, you're still good. But you can't objectively enter here. The whole
Yeah.
speech I gave you for gold, it applies right now to silver. 100% in uptrend. Look at this crazy volume. I'm not a fan of this huge volume here. Not 100% fan of that. Often you'll see that either on important breakdowns or tops. You'll have some crescendo volume, or
Yeah.
important bottoms. You'll have
It's like
some important.
everyone's in the pool or
Yes,
everyone's bailed.
yes. Well, it's a lot of hands changing, right? It's either people who bought down low or they're selling, and now there are a whole bunch of people coming in. So there's a lot of transactions right here. I'm not a fan of that. It's fine as long as the price doesn't fall. So crazy volume could get even crazier. So you can't just trade off, oh, there's peak volume, I'm going to exit. Well, I would actually wait for some evidence because that could just get crazier and crazier. So here, if you want to make sure you don't sell into too much weakness, tighten up that rising support line. As soon as you close below it, then you have an issue. The silver chart, and I'll show you here the yearly silver chart. My goodness. Remove drawings, remove indicators. This is crazy because this is going to get confirmed in about a few weeks. Silver will have
Yeah.
the craziest of cup and handles ever, 50-year or whatever. It started here in 1980, 2000. Look at that there. It's breaking out, but at the same time, it's reaching measured moves. It's so volatile, silver, that even here, if I have the breakout here, let's say here, pull, flag, pull. So even on that breakout candle, I'm reaching a crazy measured move of the cut of the handle part there. So even there, it's like I've already reached my measured move. Yes, I'm confirming a much bigger breakout, which opens the gateway for this kind of crazy move, right? This candle opens the gateway to whatever 250, 300 there. That's the target now.
Wow.
But
That's how people are coming up. I was wondering how they were coming up with numbers like that.
But the yearly chart, if it breaks out here and let's say there's a downturn in the economy in 2026, you could have a retest of 33 there, whatever, 35 there. So,
Yeah.
you know, it
I'm
could
thinking
get,
42
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Man, always when I never let go in time. So while this is a beautiful, very long term, so if you have a 10-year, 15-year horizon for silver, this yearly confirmed breakout should seal the deal for you. So you could buy on that breakout, even if it's super expensive. If your time horizon is whatever, like you want to take profits in 10 years from here, that's fine. But if you're buying here thinking it's just going to rocket upwards, it very well may do that. You got to expect if there's going to be a 50% correction along the way there. Look in the 70s, you had 50% corrections and you had multi-year
yeah,
corrections, right? That was a 6 year,
yeah,
when at bottom, 5 year correction, 46%. All right, let me do it fair. Yeah, that was a 4 year, 3, 4 year correction, 1,000 days, 48% correction. You could have a GFC type of correction here from the peak. It went down all the way to, went down 50% in 1 year. So look, as long as you expect that, by all means, guys, this is a legendary breakout that,
yeah.
you'll
It
never see
is.
again.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't want to wait for a pullback. Maybe there won't be a pullback. Maybe it will just, or maybe the pullback is going to be from much higher, right? It could be from up here, the pullback there. Who knows? You just don't know there where it's going to start pulling back, right?
That's the chart of the decade right there.
That one, yeah. I haven't seen a pattern this big
Yeah,
breaking out this year.
yeah.
I don't like, we look
That's a
at tons of
great
chart. You
look.
look at, there's
That's a
nothing of this
great look,
magnitude.
Patrick. Yeah. All right. Well, we're looking at, is this you think this is because of that comet? What is it? The X1? Come on, buddy. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? That
Yeah.
comet that, you see videos on that? They're going to be here on the 19th, I think. We get our first visitation from that
What do you mean
comet.
from aliens?
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
think
for
they're,
real?
yeah, yeah. So
I know.
anyway, make sure it's good to have silver because especially in bar form, so you could beat the aliens over the head with it. Okay, it's a it's a way you could defend yourself. But anyway, Patrick, you and Kevin live and breathe technical analysis, and every time you're here, there's a chart that's good enough to take a screenshot and hang on the wall. So, best way for people to keep in touch with you and check out your work. I know you guys have a YouTube channel. You have letters. You have a very reasonable price for being part of your community. What's the best way?
Yes. Well, yeah, guys, all the free stuff there, it's on X. So Bad Charts One. Of course, sometimes well, a lot of the times there it's like I do hyperbole. It's not very nuanced on X or Twitter. So that's why we create the website. And yeah, it's super reasonable. I think we offer the best value there. It's just we do everything, right? We have chart requests. We do the macro. We do forex. We do gold, silver. We do all the instruments. We have the trend analysis, classical TA analysis. My goodness, we have a dynamic portfolio manager for if people just want to allocate in between, stocks, bonds, cash, and gold. We have allocation portfolios for that there. It's just a one-stop shop, and yeah, it's a great place there to learn. We also have a knowledge base. Goodness, it just keeps getting better and better there.
Yeah, so I knew Patrick and Kevin when they were still on their own before they teamed up, and they were good on their own. But here's the math when you put two people that are symbiotic together, 1 + 1 = 11.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
so check Patrick out, northstarbadcharts.com. Is that correct?
That's that's right, Dale.
Okay, and Bad Charts One for Patrick on X. And keep in touch with these guys, especially after that monthly chart that we saw in silver. Looks like after any pullback, which I think we'll get, you're just going to want to strap in and ride the roller coaster to the stars and touch the comet that's bringing the aliens to us. Patrick, thank you, my trading warrior brother. We've been doing this for years. Hope you have a great holiday season, and we'll get to talk again in 2026. I hope you and your family have health and pips just overtake you going into
Beautiful.
2026.
Thank you, Dale. Same to you, buddy. Same to you.
All right, Patrick Kareem, everybody, follow him. And that's going to be a wrap. So tomorrow, prep for the Fed. What's the Fed going to do, Patrick? Tough one. Maybe he left. Anyway, guys, don't just count your silver coins and, just count your blessings. And we'll see everyone tomorrow. All right, adios.